Hello, folks. This is the Solo Gamer, back again with more Dawn of War Definitive Edition. Now, last time I demonstrated the first mission of Winter Assault. Now, the original Dawn of War is very similar, all it is Space Marine focused with a little bit of Imperial Guard activity. Winter Assault allows you to play both Chaos or Order. But then the two other expansions were the Dark Crusade and Soulstorm, which is what we'll discuss today. Dark Crusade allows you to play, I think it's like 7 or 8 races. But the story mode campaign is an open world is a sandbox adventure where you're landing on the planet Cronus and using whatever chosen force you have to conquer the world. Now here's how this works. You've got Chaos, Orcs, Tau, Eldar, Space Marines, and the Guard. Now I'm currently playing as the Guard. They're my preferred favorite group, but all of these groups are the same. And as you conquer these areas, you can reinforce them, defend them, what have you. You can also choose to attack, and some areas have special bonuses that give you an advantage against your enemies. But what you do is you pick an enemy held territory, judge its strength, and decide if you've got the manpower to win that fight or not. There's 3 levels of difficulty: easy, normal, hard, and they basically just up the aggression for each difficulty. There's not much else outside of that. They will use some more advanced tactics and some better gear, but it's generally not that different from one to the other. Now you'll notice that the Imperial Guard are fighting the Space Marines. This is because in this case, the Imperial Guard are under direct orders to conquer the planet. The Space Marines are under orders by their chapter master, who we later find out is a corrupt, demon-infested scumfuck. But that's for Dawn of War 2 and eventually Retribution, which not talking about here. But, so I'm going to attack a Bloodraven's defensive facility, but they don't have a whole lot of defensive firepower here, so it should be an easy conquest. The Orstian Plains. Now, what makes this planet different from, say, Lorne or the planet of Tartarus, where the first game takes place, is this planet is way more verdant and a lot wetter than they are. Although, to be fair, Tartarus was actually a pretty well dense jungle planet outside of the cities. But this planet is almost entirely just straight out like a forest world. There are a few cities, a few strongholds, like the Tau stronghold takes place in a formerly conquered capital city, and you have to take it back from them through sheer force and clever tactics. The Orcs, however, make their stronghold in the forest using disparate clans to fight you independently to drain out your resources. Each stronghold has a unique setup and battlefield. They also get unique dialogue for each group when you go after them. And the Orcs are always the funniest. Especially, I love the Chaos one, because it's Gorguts, who was the bad guy in the previous game in Winter Assault. And the Chaos guy shows up and he's like, well, yeah, it took you long enough to get to me, Hume. I was getting bored. And the Chaos Sorcerer's like, we move at our own pace, alien, not yours. How about dying? Do you do that any faster? I got to plan the rest of my day. And I can't do Cockney, so mine's kind of a Scottish, but it's hilarious. Gorguts is just like, he is not having any of your nonsense, assholes.
You shall have your prize.
But basically, in this game, you pick a target
zone. It is my duty to serve.
And you start out at a base
the
point.
Objective.
You have a basic base,
as you
a couple of construction units, and a handful of troops, or sometimes no troops.
A challenge
plus your commander if he's on the field with you. And you need to immediately get to work building up your troops and preparing defenses, because there is usually at least 2 access points that you're going to be fighting over. Now, in this battle, the main objective is to seize and hold the relics,
By the Emperor.
because they will
We've
give
won.
you the ultimate weapon tech if you get them.
I hold the secrets of
I am on it.
Initiating construction.
We did it, sir.
To be fair, one of the things I do kind of wish you could do more of in this game was the mod scene for this series was immensely cool back in the day.
I hold
And
the
unfortunately,
secrets
like
which
the
require my skill.
they haven't translated those mods over to this system yet, so it's still
Initiating
kind of
construction. It will only take me
it's still
a
kind of
moment.
just bare bones. But
Initiating construction.
What are your orders? Take it at all costs! On your guard, Marines! Where's our fire support? It is my duty to serve.
now these are my guard regiment specialized, and they're sort of the elite troopers. But for
The
now,
hand of the
they're not
Emperor
enough.
guides
So I'm
all.
going to send
Drive them back, no
I'm going to
quarter!
send my commander to go deal with these scums. And
By
hopefully
the
hold the
Emperor,
line
you
long
will
enough.
have it. What are your orders? If such is the Emperor's will,
Yeah, because these are elite troops, they are
on
stronger than
it.
your standard firefight.
if such is the Emperor's will,
They can get in and do a lot more damage
we
with
did
their
it, sir.
standard weaponry than you would see from like a regular trooper.
What are your orders? For the
That being
glory of the
said,
Imperium.
if you lose them, you have to pay to have them brought back, which means you have to be willing to. If you're going
As
to
you
sacrifice them,
wish,
it
so
better
shall
be
it be
damn well
done.
worth it.
A challenge worthy of my skill. As you wish, so shall it be done.
Now, in the early game for
Initiating
Soulstorm
construction.
and for Dark Crusade, if it's not a specialty mission with special objectives, you're just, it's just wipe out the enemy base as fast as you can.
It is my duty to serve.
But the first thing
Executing
you
your
always
orders,
do
sir.
As
is
you wish,
you build
so
up
shall
a
it be
defensive
done.
line to try and buy yourself time.
Initiating
And
construction.
then once you've bought yourself the time, you begin deploying your troops to wipe out your enemy forces.
It will only take me
Biggest-
a moment.
The biggest challenge is in understanding each group's strengths and weaknesses. Like Eldar, really good individual fighting units. Defenses are kind of weak and their building structures are kind of brittle. Plus, their armor is, it is not up to the same
Initiating
standards.
It is
construction.
my duty
Hyper
to
advanced,
serve.
very fast, but very brittle. So you kind of have to deal with it. Now, one thing I
What
always
are your
do
orders?
is I always put my elite troop regiment
Sir, yes, sir.
inside these units as a starting point, and then once I've got enough,
As you wish,
enough
so
manpower and
shall
material,
it be done.
I'll start building up the actual support group. So here's
A
the
challenge
Tactica. I've already
worthy
got
of my skill.
I've already got the baseline, but now between this and this, both my approaches are covered. But with the Tactica and an upgraded base, I can get heavy weapons and put them in the center to act as a full field of fire, and then that basically turns that entire opening location into a kill box. You are getting through that without taking a beating. Add a couple of artillery pieces to defend your base, then just tank rush as soon as you can. Always keep these
hand
guys
of the
near the
Emperor
base,
guides
near the
all.
main base, so that they can help with defenses. But beyond that, they're really just here to act as direct support characters. Power is a big issue here. I don't have enough.
As you wish, so shall it be done.
And I always say, like 2 things you always want to do is just build power as fast as you
Initiating
can,
construction.
because it becomes very crucial in the late game.
As you wish,
For now-
so shall it be done.
I've got all the baseline stuff accomplished. So the next part of the process is get this thing ready to roll.
Where's our fire support? Space Marines attack!
See? Here comes...
I am honored that you require my skills.
Here comes the commander to try and break my lines. Unfortunately for him, that was a bad idea. Because my guys are ready to roll out.
These repairs may require some time. As you wish, so shall it be done. A challenge worthy of my skill. I am honored that you require my skills.
And as soon as my battle fortress is updated, your immediate task is going to be build up the mechanized units, deploy heavy weapons, get your guardsmen ready to roll. Right now in the early game, you're just holding the line and buying as much time as you can until such time as you
worthy of my
can actually
skill.
get like mainline troops on the field. Oh, and the manic raving is
Standing ready.
it's this guy,
Standing
the
ready.
Psyker, who's having a bit of an issue. The Imperial Psychers are not known for their stability, especially not the high-level ones. But you can actually recruit them and assign them to squads if you want, as well as assign assassins and other groups as well.
You called for some suppressive fire?
Now here's where the defensive strength
Big
of the
guns
guard
ready to fire.
gets
Heavy
displayed.
weapons on the move.
With the heavy gunner
Ready and willing,
ready to
sir.
rack up, you can switch this over to the missile launcher like I did in Winter Assault.
We'll cover our men.
And he's now ready to roll.
I am on it.
Heavy weapons on the field.
And now
Big guns ready to fire.
I do the same
Heavy
over
weapons
here.
on the move.
And you just start, and it's just standard RTS from here. Go out here. You start upgrading and arming as fast as you possibly
Reporting
can.
for duty, sir.
Now, here's one of the
Reporting
first things
for
I
duty,
always
sir.
tell people is, once you've got a Mechanicus, the first thing you do is build the Basilisk Depot. And the reason for that is very simple. The Basilisk Depot gives you artillery. Artillery with shockingly good range, so long as you have someone to spot the
Present
target
and
for you.
accounted for, sir.
So why is that so important? Well, you see, two basilisks can basically ruin an infantry line's
Sir,
dead.
yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
So by fully kitting out these guys and prepping them for proper combat, I can accelerate my ability to win the fight simply by adding more firepower.
Awaiting instructions.
Set them to hold stance, place them
Copy,
here.
officer, as the fuel arrives.
You might be thinking why.
Shall I
Well,
get started?
simple.
Eager for action, sir.
Sheer firepower these guys are packing. You're now
We'll
equipped
cover our men.
and built to basically tear through enemy forces like they're made of cardboard.
Shall I get
They're
started?
dumb enough to launch an assault on your base now. They better bring every tank they've got,
Shall
because
I get
otherwise it'll get
started?
through. And you are going to leave them in ruins.
Eager for action, sir. Shall I get started? Shall I get started? You called, sir.
I think that's good enough.
Shall I get started?
Let's go take a relic.
You called, sir. Eager for action, sir. Eager for action, sir.
Now, here's where things get a little more interesting. Once you have the Mechanicus, you can make the decision to go to full upgrade level. If you do, that gives you all the weapon loadouts you can, including specialist infantry and the most powerful tanks in the game. So,
Eager for action,
let's
sir.
take this thing. Also, I highly recommend staggering your firepower. Include both grenades and plasma, because grenades will deal with light infantry, the plasma will deal with the heavier infantry and be more effective against the larger targets.
Incoming!
Like these guys, for example. These are the Grey Knights, and they're among the strongest of the enemies that the Space Marines can bring forward. I will actually send my command staff to deal with them, simply because they are that powerful, plus their commander is with them, which makes them even more dangerous. On the other hand, though, my artillery is giving a hand by providing additional...
The hand of the Emperor guides all. Objective secured. What now? Eager for action, sir.
See, now they know I've got the relic. They're coming in force to try and stop me. But I've sent my command squad out there to help deal with the problem. And while they've taken some damage, they're okay.
You called, sir.
Which means now I need to
Time to
take
strike
me a
back
moment.
which
hard.
means I need to grab a builder and secure this relic
A
immediately.
challenge worthy of my
In the
skill.
meantime, I will find another builder who is currently not occupied with other duties.
Stand
I
your
am
ground.
honored that you require my skills. As you wish, so shall it be done.
Oh, but first things first. Battle command. Yeah, the battle command is sort of your main operation center. It's where all the big decisions are, I guess, made in the field. But it acts as your hub, and if it goes down, you lose.
The hand of the Emperor guides all.
Now it is notable that your command team does regenerate health,
Eager for action, sir.
and there are some special
Shall
units
I
that can
get
do the
started?
same. But
I have the enemy in my sights. Shall
scouts,
I get started?
release.
You called, sir. Double time! We're under fire!
Oh, really? Are you now?
We'll cover our men.
Doesn't look
As
like it
you
to
wish,
me.
so shall it be done.
Looks to me like you just stacked some bodies. That's why I always keep the artillery. Now I can deploy full-scale war because I now have this command bunker ready to roll. And on top
As
of
you
that,
wish, so shall it be done.
once full-scale war is geared up, I can deploy all the
Shall I
best
get
tanks.
started? Shall I get started? Attack, men! Attack!
Someone call for an earth shaker.
In the meantime,
I
going
am
to build a
honored
defensive
that you
post
require
around
my
this-
skills.
around this bad boy.
A challenge
And get
worthy of
a-
my skill.
Heavy weapons ready to roll out.
Nothing like war to wake you up, eh, boys?
Give us a second to get started.
Now with these two in position, anything within range, my guys can lay artillery
Look out,
fire
here
on.
they come! Where do you want us, sir?
I can upgrade these heavy weapons guys
Where do you
to
want
the,
us, sir?
to the auto cannons, which are just ridiculously powerful.
Shall I get started?
Now, I can continue to improve my guys'
You
weapon
cold, sir.
loadout with more plasma, more grenades,
You called,
and more
sir.
devastation. And this is, each group plays differently. The Space Marines are way more specialized, but they can do tremendous
for action,
damage and
sir.
concentrated fire. But they don't have the numbers, so you only get 2 or 3 squads and a couple of tanks at a time. Whereas with the Imperial Guard, you can amass an
called for some
entire rolling
suppressive
army
fire?
and just obliterate everything on its path, which makes them incredibly efficient.
Where do you want us, sir?
So, let's move
Moving
here
to new
now.
firing position.
Now, full-scale war has been completed,
I am
which
on it.
means I can build this
Initiating
goddamn
construction.
unit.
I am on it.
Enemy gunners! Enemy gunners!
Nope, didn't matter. They're dead. And this game really can boil down into tactical trickery. Do you bum rush them with as many guardsmen as you can make as fast as possible?
By the Emperor, we've won!
Depending upon your opponent, that may or may not work. Some enemies may just simply vanish into the ether, and you're spent chasing them while they sneak around to your base and obliterate your command structure. On the other hand, the Tau will pick you off from massive distance with their railguns and snipers, while you're flailing around trying to figure out what to do. But now the game is over because I have this. Prepare to meet the most powerful tank ever built in the Warhammer 40K universe, at least that I'm aware of. It's actually one of several super tanks that the Imperial Guard can make use of. But in this case, we're getting the OG of overkill.
I am on it.
Yeah, see, doing them little to no good to try and stop
Nothing will
that
get through our
force.
field of fire. Where do you
Setting
want us, sir?
Alright,
I
now
am
that the
honored
defenses are in
that you
place,
require my skills.
we will go secure this defensive point.
A
Shall I
challenge
get
worthy
started?
of my skill.
Forward.
Come in, command! Taking fire at this position!
Relax.
I am on it.
Between the auto cannon and the missiles, they ain't getting anywhere close. But now I can do this. The population's full.
Shall I get started?
Alright. Let's go investigate down
Don't
here.
fire until I say so! Nothing like war to wake you up, eh, boys?
Leave nothing standing.
Meet the Baneblade. 11 barrels of hell. Otherwise known as the tank. The
We will
super
lead by
tank.
example.
Considered by many to be one of the coolest and most powerful tanks in the Imperium. And perhaps undoubtedly one of the most powerful weapons in the arsenal. It's not comparable to, say, the other groups because it is a specifically unique vehicle to the Imperial Guard. Now, the closest equivalent the Space Marines might have would be, for example, the Redeemer, the big land cruiser, as they call it. It's a multi-function, multi-weapon transport unit, but it's a transport, not a tank. They also have the Predator, which is a powerful tank, but it's nothing compared to the Baneblade. You've got the fire spray tanks that you have the Eldar use. The Tau have their gunships and their flying battle boats. And then you have, of course, the Orcs with their looted tanks and their Sluggoths, their giant beasts of battle. But yeah, see, like, that is the absolute obliteration that this thing brings with it is, my God.
Roll over them.
Twin las cannons, multiple heavy cannons, multiple heavy bolters. Game over. I mean, honestly, I could have ended that fight 10 minutes ago if I wanted. But that's not the point. So, let's go ahead and save it here. This is my guard. Saving the guard. And we'll head back to the main menu and I'll show you Soulstorm, which is often considered the black sheep of the family. I personally think it's actually a great concept and an interesting game, but I feel like the changes in the overall layout plus problems with the AI made the game far too difficult. Now, what is Soulstorm? Soulstorm was the final expansion of this universe, and notably, the last game in the franchise to feature the base building aspects that you see here, at least until like to a limited extent. You still had this to a minor extent in like Dawn of War 2 and Retribution, but it wasn't anywhere near the same effect. Now, here we go. Now, for demonstration purposes, I'm playing this on easy mode.
It was the sudden appearance of a warp storm at the Kaurava system's outer edge that first caught the attention of the Imperium. And not just the Imperium.
By our forces of chaos.
After hundreds of years under the neglectful watch of the Imperial Guard, nearly every force in the galaxy would descend upon the planet of Kaurava, bent only on domination and victory. 3 races had long dwelled in there. The Imperial Guard, its supposed rulers, the Orc tribes of Kaurava II, which the Guard had never successfully put down, and the Necron, who had slept undisturbed for untold millennia beneath Kaurava III. Where the Chaos Marines came from, or how, none can say. Did the Warp Storm bring them, or did they bring the Warp Storm? Both appeared suddenly on Kaurava IV, and in an eye blink, half the system's Imperial forces were gone. Killed or claimed by the madness of chaos.
Yep.
In quick succession, the others flocked to Kaurava. The Space Marines, the Imperium's super soldiers, descended on Kaurava II, planning to finally cleanse the system, both of the troublesome Orcs and the Chaos Marines, the sworn mortal enemies. The Tau appeared next, not far above, on one of the planet's moons. In the interests of protecting its ordered empire from the effects of human folly, the Tau came seeking to contain the Warp Storm, and in so doing, expand the territory's border. On their moon, they built a mighty fortress, and there forged a space cannon capable of interplanetary devastation. Among the wastes of Kaurava III, the Necrons, perhaps awakened by the disruptive forces of the Warp Storm, slowly massed their lethal legions. In quick response, webway gates, long unused, flickered to life, and Eldar poured forth, ready to battle their dark, death-dealing adversaries. Meanwhile, in the shadow of an ancient portal gate, the Dark Eldar slipped stealthily out of the murky depths of the webway. They would be like carrion birds, flying above the battlefield, and when all were weary from the fight, make the battlefield into a feasting ground. Last to arrive, and perhaps most to be feared, were the Sisters of Battle, holy maidens and bearers of the God Emperor's faith. They had come to cleanse the system of corruption and filth. Their faith left them fanatical, unafraid of death and zealous in their cause. Nothing here was clean. All must be purged. Now, war rages anew, and only the victorious may write their history. Only the victorious will claim the planets of Kaurava.
Alright, so each of these is a force you can play as. Just like in Dark Crusade, you could play as, I think, 7 races. Here you can play as, I think, 9 or 10. Okay, so 9. My personal favorite are these beauties. The Sisters of Battle. Warhammer may be a dark, evil, horrific, nightmare-fueled battlefield. But it's not all bad because, damn, these are the premier female femme fatale fighters in the 40k universe. And undeniably, some of the coolest designs in the universe, hands down, in my opinion. Now, Sisters of Battle they were formerly like the private bodyguard of some corrupt diktat back on Terra. And one of them eventually got to see the Emperor because she knew something was not right. She stood in his presence, heard his voice, and as soon as it was done, she went to the corrupt despot who was actively causing chaos in the Imperium and executed him right there and then. Blew his brains all over the throne room. And from that point on, the church, which this corrupt official had used as his sort of personal army, was barred from ever having men at arms. But the ecclesiarchy ain't gonna fuck with that. They ain't gonna allow anyone to screw with them, so they decided if we can't have men at arms, we will have an army of women. Devout, pious, and unrelenting in their fervor. And that is where we get the Sisters. Now, each of these races gets an advantage that they start with. And for the Sisters of Battle...
Welcome to the single-player campaign of Dawn of War.
I know how to play. Shut up. For the Sisters, they gain the forward base option. And the forward base option gives them the ability to deploy their bases in advance, saving them build time. Now, let me demonstrate. Some power, a few turrets, and now we hit the battlefield. Vyastan. Now this game has a wide variety of battlegrounds too, which makes it really cool. I absolutely adore that about this game. But each level is based in 40k myth to an extent. This is a former imperial city that was left in ruins after previous conflicts and mismanagement. So you're now landing to secure a foothold to set up a secondary base and begin moving forward for your strike teams. Again, loading on this is kind of annoying. I don't know why it takes so long when the old games loaded near instantly. But I know that they had to do some real miracle work to get this whole thing updated and functional with modern tech. Because you could run the old games on the machine, but they played chunky and looked like shit. So, and here we are.
I humbly await orders.
Now here's an interesting little side note. When I say they didn't have men-at-arms, I meant it. Their entire army force is almost entirely female. There are one or two exceptions, but that is it. They are female, they are heavily equipped, and they are led by this absolute beast of a woman.
Adepta Sororitas, prepared to serve.
And then
They
here-
will never
And then
try.
here's the Adepta Sororitas. They are, hands down,
Claim it for the
the
Emperor.
last thing you want to screw with if you are not a faithful servant of the Imperium.
Sisters of Battle, reporting. We are servants of the God Emperor. We have our target.
Now, they do wield a wide variety of weapons, but their primary armament
Sisters
is
of Battle,
flamers and
reporting.
bolters.
We know our place. Claim it for the Emperor.
Now, the missionary is one of the few examples of a male in their ranks.
Prepared
I
to
serve
serve.
the sisterhood.
He's not really a man-at-arms. He's actually meant to be a sort of support unit, just like the Confessor.
I
But they
serve
will
the
fight and defend
sisterhood.
themselves if need be.
I serve.
But it plays very much like Dark
I
Crusade,
equip the sisterhood.
with just more content. And to be fair, like, I am very much a fan of that.
All but the faithful perish.
I love the idea of having
Sisters, march!
like just more of the Dawn of War series, which is why the Reload was among the fact that they brought it back is among my favorite thing now. Here's where it gets interesting. The Seraphim Squad are essentially the jump troopers, fast, short-range melee combat. I don't like them, but they can be very useful if your tactics encourage their usage. I do not, so
Discipline and devotion never falter.
it is what it is.
I submit.
But now,
Instructions received. I serve.
now I'm building up a defensive unit to buy myself enough time
I am equipped for that.
to build up an army to fight back.
Discipline and devotion never falter. They will never triumph.
Now here's an interesting thing. Their basic weapons are bolters and swords. So they have good damage on both melee and long range. But they can also be upgraded with flamers and heavy bolters. They can also be equipped with blessed ammunition, which gives them all a damage bonus.
Our Emperor gives us strength. Daughters of the Emperor, march!
I humbly await orders.
But now that I've upgraded all that, I need to upgrade my main battlefield. Which means I need more
They will
resources.
never triumph.
But all of their stuff is religious based. Holy icons. Increases the faith of your users, allows for more powerful acts of faith. It also illuminates the area, revealing enemy forces.
We know our place. They will never triumph. Discipline and devotion never falter.
But now I have enough of a force
The Emperor,
and enough defenses
Father and Guardian.
that I have an objective, which is
They
to
will never triumph.
get to this relic to seize control of it so I can use it to boost my abilities. One thing that is notable is this game also adds aircraft, but it does it really clumsily. They're essentially very weak, very fragile flying gunboats, and they can be useful because they can cross areas you can't normally cross. But their weak armor and minimal weaponry doesn't make them effective in anything but a large group.
I serve.
All right, now we're here.
The Emperor, our Father and Guardian.
So we're gonna take possession of this. And this is about to go from a chapel to a monastery, which will extend our abilities and give us lots more options.
Thou shalt not. I shall.
Now, one of the biggest things that you need to do is build your faith. And then use that faith to
I
boost your
humbly
own
await
troops to
orders.
their maximum.
I humbly await orders. I serve. I humbly await orders.
Strategic point
Your
taken.
will be done.
They will never triumph.
Now, one thing that is a credit to this game is the sheer size of its maps. Each individual map is almost as big as the Battlefield Stronghold maps that were the primary battlefields for the main missions in Dark Crusade. So it was entirely possible, and in fact, often all too common,
I submit. Be it your will.
I did not ask you all to go there.
Build protocol confirmed.
We are servants of the God Emperor.
But now I can upgrade them with heavy bolters and flamers. Although you could do flamers early on, but the heavy bolters are an absolute essential.
Devotion never falter. We know our place. We know our place. The Emperor, our Father and Guardian. Claim it for the Emperor!
And you can, of course, upgrade your defensive turrets with multi-meltas. You'll notice a pattern with these. Flame, fire, and burning are what these people are all about. And now I can actually call upon the Celestian Squad, which are the heaviest hitters.
The point is ours.
I serve.
But now I can actually build a turret to defend this place.
Instructions received.
Walk in darkness. The Emperor, our Father and Guardian.
And I've got enough holy retribution I'm walking around here that I can now just
Sisters, aim true!
I can just go to town on anyone dumb enough to cross
Death
my
to the
path.
impure!
But while that's all going on, I'm still building faith. I'm still building defenses. I'm still creating
It's your will.
weaponry and forges, and then there's the Manufactorum,
Your
which is
will
basically their
be
version
done.
of a machine cult, or their version of a weapons arms depot like the Imperial Guard has, in that it presents them with large numbers of
Submit
We are
of
under
firepower.
attack, Faith. Do not lose heart.
to specification. It's your will. To specification.
Discipline and devotion never falter.
But see what I mean? Like, they are just shredding everything. And in particular, their greatest strength is that they are absolutely unrivaled when it comes to infantry control. They are the
Claim it
purgers,
for the
the
Emperor.
burners, the murdering angels of the Emperor. They are the killers of all that is unclean and unholy. And here's the fighter, which is the lightning fighter, which I do not actually use, but it can be very good as a scout, but beyond that, it's not really worth anything. But now I can get a heavy squad ready to roll.
Be it your will. I serve. I serve.
And I can even, if I want,
Many wars have we served the Emperor.
To specification.
but now these
The
are
best fulfill our
my
ranks.
We are under attack!
these are my good girls.
Lightning fighter, defending the Emperor's skies.
Yeah, here's my lightning fighter,
These skies belong to the Emperor.
and I can send it out to do attack and hunt operations.
We command dread and awe.
Yes, you do. Now that I'm generating enough ammo, or enough requisition and faith,
We claim it for the Imperium.
I can take her.
Witchcraft, heresy, and mutation. Thou shalt not. I shall.
And I can join them together. I can lead them.
Strike them down!
I can lead them to join up with that team.
Be it your will.
Come on, hurry it up.
I am equipped for that. Be it your will. Build protocol confirmed.
But see, these things are so fragile. Like, they are so absolutely fragile. But now with her at my command, I actually have all these superhuman abilities that she can now commend.
Discipline and devotion never falter.
Yes, lead the charge straight into the heavy bolter and flamer fire. I'm sure it will end well. But yeah, these things are good for scouting and they're okay against basic infantry, but they're incredibly weak against anything else.
It is a judgment.
Once the Manufactorum is done, you can expand its capacity to include the Exorcist multi-missile launcher, the Penitent engine, and all kinds of other firepower, including the Death Cult Assassin and the Sister Repentia squads. All of these are the elite forces.
I humbly await orders.
Once you've got enough requisition
I am
and support
equipped
going,
for that.
Witchcraft, heresy, and
Mutation.
mutation!
We will be martyrs!
you can begin deploying your troops to just absolutely shred everything in the vicinity, and they will march forward with unending devotion. Which is why I love the Sisters of Battle, because they're the perfect example of like, yeah, no, we're the Emperor's chosen, and you all gonna burn. Now, it's notable that flamers are mostly an anti-infantry weapon, whereas the meltas are specifically designed as anti-armor, ball busters.
It is a judgment. Sisters, aim true!
I think we found their base of operations.
What can I flash?
And the Immolator acts as the artillery for these beautiful angels of death. And with a fully kitted out and fully equipped force, your average sister battle formation will turn pretty much everything it comes into contact with into ash, which makes them incredibly powerful once they've amassed a large enough force. But there is the downside of that, where that raw power is very expensive. It costs a lot. So you got to build your economy in fast, which is why they get the forward base advantage. But if you don't understand the situation, if you don't build fast enough, you will lose. But yeah, I was like, yeah, nah, the sisters are nightmare incarnate. You also get to upgrade your leader as you play the game, which gives them both the advantages of being stronger themselves, but can also have advantages for your general army in turn. Now, after every battle, you end the turn, and the other forces take action.
For the glory of the Imperium!
Then you can make your next move once you've completed that. Now, at any time, you can come here and save the game. And go back to the main menu and pick up wherever you were on another one. But that's 4 full games, plus multiplayer, plus skirmish, plus the ability to paint your army. Like if you wanted to paint this group a deep purple or a dark blue or a bloody red. In my case, I'm going to make them I'm going to try to make them a brilliant light. And then with a secondary, Paint them a blue. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna reverse that. Give them blue highlights. But with like light yellow or white secondary. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then there's their symbolism. You can even preview their appearance so that you can see how they handle it. And when you're done, you can go back, save the scheme, you go back, and you continue on your way. So what do I think of Dawn of War Definitive Edition? It is indeed the definitive edition, and I would highly recommend it to any Warhammer 40k fan. This is what Warhammer was doing before Games Workshop decided to fuck it all up. And it's an interesting comparison to something like Saber Interactive's Space Marines 2, which is more action-oriented. That's more focused on the individual units and stories, whereas this is more focused on the concept of the universe itself and how just absolutely fucked up it is. But I'm the solo gamer, and that'll be it for the day. But I might do more of these down the road. Specifically, I'm going to probably do a couple of full playthroughs on Dark Crusade because I love the orcs and the Necrons in that game. But anyway, I might get around to that once I'm done with the Death Stranding 2 work and everything else. But we'll see you again. This is the Solo Gamer, and you all have a great day. Take care.